Hi students, this is Heather Hammond-Williams. I wanted to kind of talk about activities for my courses. So all my courses have different activities and they'll have different due dates. So with the activities, the first one's always the introduction, which is basically going on the discussion board, which is going to be connected to the weekly modules, week 1, and it's going to have the questions for you to answer about yourself. So that's going to be considered what is part A. So part A is going to be required to be completed in order to see part B. So part B is just responding to a classmate. So this is where you want to kind of connect with a classmate and kind of just chat for a little bit is really what it's going for. And then the items will all be due on the due dates. And then once past the due dates, these items will disappear. You won't be able to see them anymore. So I wanted to kind of talk about how to handle some activities in the discussion board and how some are going to be videos and how some are going to be handouts and some are just responses. Just really depends on what we're talking about, and every semester will be different. So if we're going to do a video activity is going to be watching a video and then you answer the questions that are provided. That's going to be at least 1 page in response, and you're going to need to cite the textbook at least 1 time. So that would be what part A is watch the video and then respond to the questions about 1 page in length, if not more. And you can either do that in a PDF file or a Word document, or you can type directly into the discussion board. And that's part A. And then part B would be responding to a classmate. So all the part Bs to all the activities are going to be at least an in-depth paragraph. So it's not something short and quick like, oh, great job. You're going to have to give some detail. So you need to connect to your classmate's response in some type of way, or maybe if you didn't totally agree with them, maybe you're going to be gentle with giving your point of view about it. And with that, you really need to have some detail in there, and you need to provide additional information from the textbook or PowerPoint. Now, when you do that, you do need to cite an APA. So that's the important part of, part B. Now, if you're going to be doing a handout is going to be important because this is something we use in education system, even as therapists, depending on which class you're in with me, even for preschool educators. We often will do handouts to help give this information to our parents and to our families that we're working with. So maybe you have to create a handout for whatever thing I am providing for that week. Each week will be different. Each handout will be different. So with a handout, I do have a video on how to create an appealing handout, so please look at that. But you're going to have to answer the question that's provided. You're going to need to make it visually appealing. Typically, handouts should not be more than about 1 to 2 pages. If you watch the video, there's different ways to do that. You can do a Word document, PowerPoint, Publisher, whatever you need to do. Now, when you upload that, you should be uploading it as a PDF where everyone else can see it. And that would be your part A, would be the handout. And then your part B is going to be responding to your classmate's handout. So remember, it's an in-depth paragraph. You're going to need to cite the textbook or PowerPoint and APA. And it's going to be very important that you are connecting to their handout. So pretty much for most of my assignments, it's going to be handouts, videos, responding to questions for our activities. All the activities will be posted in their weekly modules, and they'll all have their specific due dates. I do not accept activities late, so make sure that you're meeting those due dates and making sure you're doing A and B because those are both word points. So hopefully that somewhat helped with some activities, and I do have samples in the weekly modules too.